Hello, grade 10. Welcome back to our channel. How was your week 2 module? I hope you were able to answer the pre-test, post-test, enhancement activity, or the enriching activity, and most of all, the activity about your vlog. Vlog in creating your own study. What part of your home were you able to make a vlog? Oh, I'm sure you were able to make a very good vlog. Okay, so for today, we're going to discuss handle queries through telephone, fax, machine, internet, and email. So that will be our week 3 lesson. So in handling queries through telephone, fax machine, internet, and email, it plays a vital part in the hospitality industry. People all over the world use this kind of communication channels for making bookings or asking information or transferring messages to the guest for various other purposes. This will help you handle queries over telephone calls and other network for communication. So as was mentioned, this telephone, fax machine, internet, and email has a vital part in the hospitality industry. So when we discuss this, we need to know the basic telephone etiquettes. So what are these etiquettes? So when we say etiquettes, these are the attitudes or behaviors when answering telephone calls, most special telephone calls, uh, in the hotels. Okay, so the first basic telephone etiquette is answer the telephone promptly within 3 rings. Make sure that it will not take too long to ring before you answer the phone. Bakit? Kasi baka mamaya yung guest, tatawag siya, and then ang tagal-tagal mong sagutin. So, alam nyo ang client or customer, madali ang mainitin yan. So, instead of asking queries on your hotels, so ilalapag niya yan kasi marami namang silang choices. Okay. Number 2 is say the name of the hotel, your name, and appropriate greetings when answering phones. So, for example, tumawag siya, o nag-ring yung phone, then, all you have to do is to mention the name of your hotel. For example, hello, AKJ Hotel. Then, you have to tell your name. This is Tessie. And then, their appropriate greetings. For example, it is morning. You have to say, good morning. And then, for number 3, we have here, always have a pen and paper. So, this one is pen and paper. So, why do we need to have a pen and paper? For your reference. While you are on call, you have to jot down information that is important. Okay? And then, number 4, listen carefully. Pay attention to the details being expressed by the caller. So, kailangan magiging attentive tayo sa pakikinig. Sabi nga, listen carefully. So, kailangan ma-jot down natin, kaya na-mention kanina, we have to use paper and pens. Lalo na mga importanteng tinatanong niya or sinasabi niya para hindi ka mapagalitan. Minsan masusungit kasi yung mga caller or yung mga customer. Marami silang sinasabi. Tapos, pagka ikaw sumagot na or mali-mali sinabi mo, papagalitan ka na nila. Okay, number 5, make the callers feel that you have undivided attention. Mention the name of the caller if possible. So, ibig sabihin po nito, so you have to ask the name of the caller or the customer para may address mo siya sa pangalan niya habang kausap mo siya. And then, habang kausap mo siya, hindi yung kung marami kang kinakausap, marami kang tinatawagan na mga tao. So, yun yung aanuhin mo. Kailangan nakapag-focus sila. Tapos, yung number 6, if you have to ask the caller To hold, explain why, and wait the caller's agreement before putting him or her on hold. So, wag mo lang ibababa yung phone, paghihintayin mo yung caller or yung guest. Kailangan, alam niya na bakit mo siya hindi ka nagsasalita. Alam dapat ng kausap mo yon. Okay, next. Repeat back in any details and follow up in writing if necessary. So as it was mentioned a while ago, kailangan ko mag-jot down. So i-repeat back mo yon yung parang na-encounter niyo ba mag-order sa mga fast food, di ba? Or kahit sa mga restaurants, pag nag-order ka, meron silang paper and pen, isusulat yon kung ano yung mga ano mo, tapos i-repeat order. So same thing sa telephone etiquette. I-repeat details mo kung ano yung mga importanteng information na kailangan malaman mo na alam ng guest mo. Okay? Next, we have here the number 8. Close the conversation politely. Always say thank you for calling. So, pagka tumatawag or tumatawag, kailangan sagutin mo yun at i-end mo siya by answering thank you. And then, for the last basic telephone etiquette, we have here, never give wrong information if you don't know the answer. Transfer the caller to the right person. So for example, may tumawag yung naka-check-in sila, tumawag, may tinanong siya. You are not aware or hindi mo alam kung ano ba yung tinatanong niya, huwag ka lang sagot ng sagot. So i-transfer mo siya sa ibang department or kung saan yon. So, ganun ang tamang ano kasi magagalit sa'yo yung customer. So, that is now the basic telephone etiquettes. After knowing the different telephone basic etiquettes, we will now proceed with the standard phrases to answer in different situations. Wait lang guys. May tumatawag. Sa telepono, may tumatawag. Good morning, AKJ Hotel. How may I help you?
Hello, good morning. I just like to inquire if there's an available room for 2 on October 18.
That is how to answer an external call. You're going to greet according to the time of the day, whether it is morning, afternoon, or evening. Ay, nabisaya gid ako. Good evening. That is the proper way of greeting. And then you have to tell the name of the hotel. Kagaya sa akin, my hotel is AKJ Hotel. So, and then the phrase, how may I help you? So, dapat malambing. And then, another phone call. Good morning, Mrs. Andres. This is Tessie. How may I help you?
Hello, I just want to ask if when is our checkout?
That is how to answer internal guest calls. So, pag sinabi nating internal guest calls, nasa loob na, naka-check-in na yung guest. And then, you're going to greet according to the time of the day. Just like a while ago, you have to greet if it is morning, afternoon, or evening. And if the voice of the caller or the customer is a female, you have to address him Mrs. or Miss. And then, if it is a boy or a male, you have to address him Mr. And then, you have to tell the guest last name, and then your name, your first name, and the phrase, how may I help you? Hoy, tawag na naman. Good morning, this is Tessie. How may I help you?
Hello, this is Anna from Housekeeping Department. May I know if we have still a guest at room 143?
That is how to answer interdepartmental test. Ay, bakit test? Call. Nadala ako sa test. Kala ko test, call pala. Kasi daming tawag eh. So, once you answer, you have to greet according to the time of the day. Whether it is morning, afternoon, evening. And then you have to tell your first name. And then again, the phrase, how may I help you? Nagri-ring na naman. Ano ba yan? Ang dami namang tawag. Hello, good morning, Ma'am Andres. How may I help you?
Hello, good morning. May I ask for the menu for today?
For a moment, ma'am, I will be transferring your call with pleasure. That is how to transfer a guest call. So for example, pag sinabing transfer sa guest call, tumawag yung guest na hindi para sa'yo. So ita-transfer mo ngayon yung call niya. So while transferring the guest call, you should say, transferring your call with pleasure. Ay, sana makapagpahinga na ako. Hoy, may tawag na naman. Good morning, Mrs. Felipe. This is Tessie. How may I help you?
Hello, I would like to transfer in a beachfront room. Is there any available room?
Would you mind to allow me to put your call on hold while I check the required, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. That is how putting a guest call on hold. So when we say putting a guest call on hold, parang pinaghihintay mo siya. So while putting a guest call on hold, you should say, allow me to put your call on hold while I check the information required. Or if not, you should say, could I put your call on hold while I check the information required? Ay, pagod na ako. Pero hindi eh. This is my job. So, adya! Kahit ilang tawag, sagot ng sagot. With polite. At saka hindi dapat mataray, kahit gaanong pagod, tuloy-tuloy lang natin ang pagsagot ng mahinahon, kahit naiinis ka na hindi pwede yon. Okay? Ayan, may tawag na naman. Good morning, Mrs. Chua. This is Tessie. How may I help you?
Hello, room 143 for checkout. May I request for a room boy?
I will be glad to assist you, ma'am.
Thank you.
That is how to handle a guest query. Pag may mga tanong sila. For any guest query, you should say, I will be glad to assist you. So that is how to handle queries through telephone, fax machine, internet, and email. So that is our lesson for this week. So that's all for my part today. Oh, wait lang. Tatawagan ko yung mga kasamahan ko para sa outro.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Game na ba kayo?
Game na! Oo, game na!
Game na! I am Mrs. Andres, your housekeeping teacher.
We hope you learned something from our discussion. See you next week!
Bye!
Bye!
Okay, good afternoon everyone. So this is the continuation of our lesson for today. It is all about the common problems related to housekeeping services and ways on how to handle it. So these problems are usually happen in every hospitality establishment. So when we say it's hospitality establishment, the examples of this are the hotels. The restaurants, it's either big or small. Uh, it is considered as hospitality establishment. So when we say hospitality, it pertains to the spirit and the practice or act of being hospitable. So let's say, for example, when you are going to run a hospitality establishment, you must have an employees that have a thorough knowledge on how to please each and everyone who enters the hotel or any other establishment that pertains to hospitality. Okay? It is expected that every establishment may encounter a different set of complaints based on the hotel's training, procedures, and atmosphere. So the following are the common problems usually encountered in the different establishment, and it should be uh, handled by the management carefully, and there are some ways on how to address this in the best possible way to handle such issues. Okay, we have number one, the room is too hot or too cold. Okay, so this is the number one problem that we or that the owner of the hotels or any other hospitality industry or establishment may encounter, or the room is too hot or too cold. Guests rent rooms for comfort. They pay for a room wherein they want to feel at home and expect nothing less during their stay in the hotel. A guest cannot relax or enjoy themselves, perspiring or shaking, which is why room temperature and proper ventilation are vital in its room of the hotel. So, dealing with this problem about room temperature will be a case basis. One way to handle this is to advise the guests on how to adjust the thermostat according to their desired room temperature. Also, provide easily readable printed instructions and be prepared to guide the guests step by step through the process. So, this is usually encountered by the guest when entering in the hotels. Okay, they pay for a room where they wherein they want to feel at home, okay, and expect nothing less during their stay in the hotel. So it means to say, kaya ka nag-check-in sa hotel, gusto mong mag-relax, okay, and expected mo na maganda ang iyong madadatnan doon, okay, malamig yung room, na kung saan ay pwede kang matulog ng mahimbing. Okay, but there are some instances na let's say biglang lumamig yung room, biglang uminit yung room, okay? So you cannot relax kasi papawisan ka, 'di ba? Okay, so proper ventilation is vital. Okay? So how to deal with this problem? One way to handle this is to advise the guests on how to adjust the thermostat according to their desired room temperature. So, bago pa man, okay, pag nasa loob na yung guest, sasabihin mo or i-instruct mo sa kanila kung paano pag-adjust ng thermostat. Let's say, for example, yung aircon ninyo, paano isi-set, okay? Halimbawa rin sa comfort room, let's say gusto mong mainit-init na tubig, ang iyong warm water, ang iyong paliligo, may thermostat din doon na pwede nating i-adjust. Kung gusto mo ay maligamgam or gusto mo ay mas mainit. Okay? So, yun yung ating common problems na kung saan inirereklamo tayo o nung may-ari ng establishment. Okay? The room is too hot or too cold. Okay. Again, You can also provide easily readable printed instructions na kung saan nakadikit sa mga walls or kung saan, dun sa may higaan na dun sa ulunan, pwede natin yung ilagay yung mga printed instructions. And be prepared to guide the guest step by step through process. Okay. So, any question, class, with regards to room, with regards to number one, number one problem or issue? Okay, now let's go to number two. Okay, no access to Wi-Fi. So nowadays, people are used to free Wi-Fi as one of the free amenities of the hotels. Okay. Many guests will simply need to get connected when they first check in. And when not connected for some reasons, like hard to see internet passwords, proprietary Wi-Fi login may be confusing to navigate, they tend to get frustrated easily. So in case like this, many sure all staff are trained in the Wi-Fi login process so they can wisely walk guests through this as needed. So as for the Wi-Fi speed, this should be handled by the network administrator. Hotels can shift to other networks that provide a fast and reliable internet connection. Now, so once you enter in the hotel, okay, or it's either in the fast food chain or like for example in SM, di ba meron tayong free wifi doon? So lalo na yung mga magche-check-in sa hotels. So the first thing na tinatanong nila is, meron ba kayong free wifi? Okay. So mas maganda nga naman pag may free wifi, di ba? And pagka sinagot ng employee, okay, ma'am, wala po kaming wifi. So, ano yung magiging reaction ng guest? Of course, sila ay, they tend to get frustrated easily. Okay. So, kailangan, lalo na sa malalaking hotel, okay, or restaurant, meron tayong, we provide a free Wi-Fi for the guest. Okay, or for the customers. Bakit? Okay, para uulit-ulitin nila yung pagpunta doon, pag-check-in, okay, or kakain doon sa restaurant na yon kasi meron kayong may access kayong free Wi-Fi. Ngayon kung wala, maybe, alam nyo naman ang mga guests natin or customers ngayon, sila ay mapaghanap. Okay? So, hotels can shift to other networks than that provide a fast and reliable internet connection. Okay? Okay, now let's go to number 3. Too much noise inside the room. When guests book a hotel room and paid good money to stay in your hotel, they expect a peaceful ambience for a relaxing stay. Hearing outside noise is really troublesome. So if the noise is coming from the hotel neighbors, make sure to deal with it correctly. Staff can politely ask the neighbors to keep the volume down because it's disturbing other guests. Hotel staff can also offer to move the guests up to the other rooms to get them away from the noise. So, if the guest does not want to move or withdraw his complaint, consider offering them free of charge earplugs or additional services. Okay? So, let's say, for example, the hotel neighbors are making noise. If the hotel neighbors are making noise, which make the guest disturb, the hotel staff can politely ask the neighbors to keep the volume down because it's disturbing to the guests. So, kailangan yung staff ay makikiusap doon sa neighbor with may paggalang yon, no, nakausapin yung neighbor para i-volume down yung kanilang mga boses or kung ano pa mang bagay na nagbibigay ng ingay sa kapaligiran. Ngayon kung halimbawa hindi talaga masawa yung mga neighbor, kailangan nating i-move or sabihan yung guest na lumipat na lang ng ibang room or offer them free of charge earplugs or additional services para naman maging relaxing stay nila doon sa hotel na yon or doon sa establishment na yon. Okay. So, naintindihan ba yung number 3? Now, let's go to number 4. The room isn't clean. Hindi daw malinis o marumi daw yung room. Okay? Hotels of different types are vulnerable to complaints with regards to the cleanliness. Hotel rooms are expected to be clean for all guests. So, issues on room cleanliness are usually solved with profuse apologies and a quick overhaul. Not all guests will accept a quick recleaning, and some will be truly disgusted or outraged. So, to avoid leaving a terrible lasting impression with guests, offer them a nice, upgraded, and spotless room. If they don't want to move, offer them a complimentary whole body massage or spa treatment while cleaning staff takes charge at making the room pristine. So when we say pristine, again, this is the cleanliness or the ambience of the room. The room should be comfortable. Okay, kaya nililinis ng staff. Now, housekeeping supervisor should conduct thorough cleaning checks and perhaps even have random inspections to make sure the cleaning staff is following the correct standards. Again, number 1 criteria or consideration of the hotel room is the cleanliness, because this is the number 1 criteria of or expectations of the guests, the cleanliness of the room. So, kailangan once nag-check-in yung guest, mararamdaman nila yung kalinisan, ano? At yung ambience ng kanilang room, mararamdaman nila. So, they will be marerelax sila pagka ganun yung kanilang pakiramdam. So, ang kalinisan ay napakahalaga. Again, ngayon, halimbawa, yung pag sinabi nating some guests or not all guests will accept a quick recleaning and some will be truly disgusted or outraged. So, ibig sabihin yan, halimbawa, nagtanong sila, okay na po ba yung ano? Ay, hindi pa po, maglilinis pa po. Okay, so baka lumipat na lang yung guest, no? Kasi hindi ka agad nalinisan yung room na kung saan doon sila mag-stay. Kung gusto niyo namang utuin yung guest, mag-offer kayo ng ibang complimentary, no? Or magbigay kayo ng whole body massage or spa treatment habang naglilinis yung cleaning staff doon sa room. Okay? Then, kailangan kasi ang supervisor, ang housekeeping supervisor ay lagi ding magkakandak ng thorough cleaning checks or even random inspections to make sure the cleaning staff is following the correct standards. So, pagka sinabi natin correct standards, kailangan ay maibigay nila o malinisan nilang maayos yung room no, by means of, halimbawa, meron tayong dapat na i-disinfect like the bathroom, the sink, okay, na kung saan yun yung mga pinakamahalagang bahagi ng room at yun ang dapat na pinakamalinis na area. Okay? Now, naintindihan ba yung number 4? The room isn't clean. Hindi raw hindi raw malinis yung kwarto. So, kailangan natin kailangang malinis yun bago pumasok ang guest. Okay, now, let's go to number 5. Okay, problem with the hotel services. Okay, hospitality, establishment, or management offered different hotel services or services. Okay, so some of this, yung mga services na yan ay ino-offer ng hotel, pero kung minsan nagkakaroon sila ng maraming reklamo about serbisyo ng kanilang mga empleyado. So meron tayong mga service complaints should be taken seriously for the sake of your guests. And okay, kasi maraming guests na reklamador, okay? Ginawa mo ng lahat, nagrereklamo pa rin. Okay? So meron tayong service complaints, okay, na kung saan sila yung magsosolve ng mga problema, lalo na kung yung problemang yun ay nakakasira na sa reputation ng ating o ng isang establishment. Okay? So, papaano magkakaroon ng reputation ang isang establishmento, okay, o isang hotel? So, they need to have positive attitude of the staff. Okay? Ang isang establishment ay nabubuhay sa pamamagitan ng mga staff. Okay? Kung walang staff, walang magsisilbi sa mga guests. So, ang mga staff ay kailangan din naman tayong o kailangan well-trained. Okay? Iti-train mo about hospitality management. Okay? Kasi almost overall of the guest hotel experience comes from the positive attitude of the staff. So that is why it is important to hire people who can control their temper and who can keep their heads straight even when facing an irate guest. Okay, also see to it that you hire problem solver staff to handle a frustrating situation. Meron din tayong mga problem solver staff na kung saan sila yung mag-handle ng mga mabibigat ng complaint galing sa guest. Okay, hindi lamang sa hotel nagkakaroon ng mga problema, no? Lahat ng establishment, let's say for example, sa mga fast food chain, McDonald's, Jollibee, okay, marami.
Guys, helping customers find solutions to their problems can be quite rewarding and can build loyalty when handled correctly. So it is important to always remember the following steps in handling guests' complaints. So pag may mga reklamo, ito ang dapat yung bibigyan ng pansin. Okay, number 1, listen carefully to the person who is complaining. Guys, communication is a two-way deal. If he speaks, you have to listen. Hindi niyo maintindihan ang sinasabi niya, ang nirereklamo niya kung wala kayong ginawa, kundi sumagot ng sumagot. So, number 1, makinig muna. Number 2, let your guests vent for a few minutes. Hayaan niyo siyang maglabas ng galit, hayaan niyo siyang umusok. Okay, huwag niyo papatulan niyo, lagi lang kayong makinig. So, huwag naman kayo nakangiti para kayong nakakaloko, di ba? Parang, kung baga sa nakikinig kayo sa mga hinanakit niya. Okay? Para mabigyan nyo ng solusyon yung mga problema niya. Number 3, show empathy for your guest concerns. Magpakita tayo ng feeling na parang, boss, nararamdaman ko yung nararamdaman mo. Okay? So, bibigyan po natin ng solusyon yan. Ganyan. And number 4, thank the guests for complaining. Sabihin niyo sa kanila, mga bossing, maraming salamat sa pagrereklamo nyo. Ito po ay maganda para sa amin para mas lalo pa namin mapaganda ang serbisyo sa inyo. And then number 5, sincerely apologize even if you are not the cause of the problem. Sasabihin mo sa kanila, mga bossing, ako na po mismo ang humihingi ng paumanin sa mga nangyari. Maski hindi ikaw ang may kasalanan. Pero dapat malaman nila na ikaw ay, kumbaga sa alam mo namang kasama mo yun, ikaw na humingi ng paumanhin para sa kanila. Number 6, you get the facts. Alamin nyo kung ano yung mga detalye doon sa reklamo niya. Okay? Para malaman nyo kung dapat bang aksyonan to o ano. Tandaan nyo, hindi lahat ng mga problema na ibinibigay ng ating mga guest ay dapat aaksyon natin ng bigla-bigla. Baka maliit na bagay lang yun, alam nyo na kung dapat yung gawin. And number 7, offer a solution. Ibigay nyo sa kanila ang sa tingin nyo ang dapat na solution dyan. Kumbaga sa guys, it's win-win situation. Okay? So palagi ko, naintindihan nyo na yan. Huwag nyo kalilimutan yung mga importanteng bagay, yung mga reminders natin kapag ka may reklamo sa inyong serbisyo. Thank you very much.
Now that we're done with the discussion of advice on guest rooms and housekeeping equipment, you may now answer your check your understanding and post test in this link. And as you can see, we have this link on the upper and the right part, and which is highlighted bit.ly 305372 evaluation HSK week 3. So the link will be open for responses on October 22 up to October 25, 5 p.m. Okay, so if you want to answer your check your understanding and post test into your module and transfer it to Google Form, it is okay. So please also bear in your mind that whenever you are answering our Google Form, proper capitalization must be observed. Do not answer the post test and check your understanding in all capital letters because it will be marked as wrong. So for our reflection, you may also write 2 to 3 sentences in order for us teachers to know what do you feel for this week's lesson. And take a picture again of it and send it to your teacher. So that's all for this week. And thank you. Bye. See you next week for another video lesson about housekeeping.